Good night, guys. Welcome to another episode of Queens on the Rise. So tonight is a special night because today is high cream of pumpkin soup. Good night. Welcome to this week's episode of Queens on the Rise. So this week is a special week because I have a guest, but I'm going to introduce her shortly. So I'm going to start differently this week. So I normally start with a song, but I'm going to go ahead with our book, with our financial tips. So as usual, the name of the book is 15 Laws of Managing Money and Creating Wealth. And this week's tip, my light gone and my water gone. Living in Jamaica is so great. So what you're seeing flashing is my neck fan. We don't have any water. Yes. Living in Jamaica is awesome, guys. So let me see if there is any way I can do this with light. So Instagram does not give us an option for light. Lend me the light there for real. Oh, thank you, Miss Karen. So my auntie brought a light for me. God, please make my neck fan hold out. Anyways, good night again. You know, living in Jamaica is awesome. So, if you remember correctly, out of our book, it says understanding the value of investing. Never invest your money in anything that eats. Oh no, this was last week's one. My apologies. The light going kind of threw me off. Right. So plan for retirement. If you depend on your company to take care of your retirement, your income will be divided by 5. Take care of it yourself, and you can multiply your future income. Yay, light came back. Great, because I thought I was gonna melt. But anyways, let's continue. So that is a quote from Jim Rohn. Not sure who that is. The power statement is a self-directed retirement plan involves knowing when and where to invest so that you will have money waiting for you and when you decide to retire. So, I mean, that's pretty straightforward. We need to make plans for when it is that we are unable to work or generate income anymore, or when we've just decided that we're too tired and we're too old to continue working, and we're going to save and put down our money so that we can enjoy our wealth. So let's be smart about our spending so that we can continue to live full and happy lives. So let's talk about my guest. So I'm excited because she's an advocate for lupus just like me. She's a musician. Oh my god, that's so bad. She's a musician. She's a fellow Andrews girl. Her name is Emily Dixon. And if you remember the day when I did the live with Daniel Hall, I spoke about her and Emily being the unofficial faces of lupus in Jamaica. So I'm gonna welcome her to my life. She's a musician and a cellist specifically, and for those of you who do not know what a cello is, it's the big thing that looks like a huge violin. So I'm gonna welcome her into the Queens on the Rise episode. Request M's. So you need to accept it. If it doesn't work, you can request to be in the video. Hey Em, so we're two different directions.
We are.
Yes.
I don't know how this thing goes.
How are you? Hey K-Boo. Hey my other two guests. Welcome to Queens on the Rise this week. So you guys just came in. So today I have a guest. Her name is Emily Dixon.
Hi.
Say hey Em.
Hi.
So as usual, every time I have a guest, I ask them 3 questions and we have a great discussion, much like my previous weeks. So my first question for Emily is, tell us about your lupus journey.
One again, you.
And you guys can't see this, but we're wearing the same shirt.
There was a glitch, Sam.
Yeah, it says Carpe Diem.
There was a glitch, so I didn't hear the.
Oh, you didn't hear the introduction?
No, I heard. Did you ask the question already?
Oh. Too much rain falls.
You were
right. So it froze again. So I was saying to them that we live in a.
You were frozen for a long time.
Well, I'm not hearing you. Yeah, that's what I was saying. I was saying to my to my guests that we live in a dry weather country. So whenever too much rain falls, Jamaica stop keep little bit. No, Jamaica stop keep little bit. So like with internet now work, my light did go away and I don't have no water. My light come back, I still don't have no water and enough rain a fall.
Irony.
Thank you, NWC. Okay, let's start over with our questions. Welcome everyone that's coming in. Emily is a lupus sister of mine. So my first question is, tell us about your lupus journey.
Well, my journey, personal journey with lupus started in 2006. I was in my, second year of university and very active as I have been throughout life. You know, going to school, doing after school activities, doing my music, my dancing, whatever group I'm involved in. And I felt fine until one day I had a lock. I had sister locks at the time, and like one at the back right here just fell out. The spot that was left was pretty tender, so that's what concerned me because, and I mean more so that a lock fell out from the root. That was odd. And so when I had that checked out and had a dermatologist do a biopsy, they discovered immediately that it was lupus that was causing it. But as I said, at that time, I didn't really feel anything. That was the only thing that had happened to me. None of the other symptoms that I read about was I experiencing. So it didn't feel like I really had anything. I continued life as usual. The only thing was that once we started learning more about the disease, we started to change my diet, started to look at my lifestyle in terms of stress levels and how many activities I took on, which really never decreased, but at least I was kind of more mindful of it at that point. I had known about lupus from before because one of my favorite teachers from high school, Mrs. Stokes, she passed away from complications from lupus. And that made it, I knew about it and I knew how debilitating it could be, whereas it wasn't a disease that was spoken about a lot. We also had a family friend who was suffering badly from lupus, and she had kidney issues and that sort of thing. So I knew that it could be a really horrible disease, but as I said, for me at that time, it wasn't that a lot was happening. It was just that I was aware of what could happen. So it wasn't until about 2008, which was 2 years after being diagnosed, that I started to feel like some really, really horrible effects. I continued being very active, and that particular year, I had dance season at UWI, and I I had entered Festival Queen for St. Andrew, Kingston and St. Andrew, and I had UWI Singers season. And so those things back to back, by the time I'd reached UWI Singers season, I was just, my body was like, no, that's not working out. And so I started getting joint pains. I started losing even more hair. By then I had been losing hair little by little, but no, it was just massive amounts of hair. And I still had locks that was falling out in the shower every day, every single day. It was really a horrible experience. I started getting marks on my skin. It wasn't as bad as what you see here. This is what happened later on. But at that time, I would get all of these marks, and then they would clear up with medication. The joint pains were the worst. I remember sometimes waking up and my fingers would be like this, and I'd have to like spend time trying them and doing my hair. It's a good thing I had locks because I didn't have to brush my hair. I just either left it out or put a scrunchie over it. It was hard to put on clothes. It wasn't a very good time. I felt like an old woman, and I was in my 20s.
Yeah, my sister troubled me about my old
Yeah, you
person's
really become
condition.
old very quickly, and you start to appreciate what old people go through, and start to be
Yeah,
so
yeah, yeah,
impatient
yeah,
with
yeah.
them. Because
Yeah.
when I was taking a year and I didn't do anything, you realize that it really is so. Um,
No, but I always kind of love old people though, cause like I think they're so cute.
well,
Like I think them cute. Like I trouble my father all the time. I'm like, Lenny boy, come here,
I was caring
come
for
here with
my
your cute
grandparents up
self.
to their passing. So, and that was in 2011, and I really grew to appreciate them. I really did. I mean, before you just kind of tolerate, and it's just family dinner, and then you leave, and it's fine. But like having to take care of them and feed them, and the constant questions of where's my food, and it's like you just ate though. Like, how do you forget that you just ate? So.
No man, I love when my father asks me for him phone. Him phone when him just did I use from the veranda, and him come in and start watching TV. I said, Sammy, where is my
Well,
phone? I said, Daddy, where were you just a minute
as
ago?
you would know, we
Yeah.
suffer as lupus patients. We suffer from memory fog, so that is a very real thing. Like walking into a room and it's just like, why am I in here? Though? Why? What? Sometimes I don't know if it's just old age. Like I really am in my 30s now, or it's the lupus. I try to blame lupus for everything.
Yeah, no, no, Emily, it's not your age. Cause me know me not all. I mean, in my 30s. I'm a hot girl.
Yes, ma'am.
It's
Yeah.
lupus. Also, you were at Andrews when Mrs. Stokes died,
And
right?
no, I think she passed away after I left. But I know when she was diagnosed. I know
Um,
when we knew about her having lupus. And I even remember I was terrible at science. Anything that had to do with formulas, numbers, whatever, I was bad at it. And she was teaching me science in second form, and I really loved her. Um, and so when I was in fifth form, I think, and struggling, she agreed to do extra lessons with me. But she also felt very ill from complications for lupus, and she had me come to her house with another girl, and we worked through papers. I mean, she was that devoted to teaching. Um, Maybe had I known more about the disease, I'd have been like, no, Mrs. Stokes, you need your rest. And but she was so dedicated. She just wanted us to do well, and she had us comfort. and um, um, so yeah, it was always very, that was a like people talk about cancer and AIDS, and I know those are bad, but lupus was one of the worst. Kimberly says first detention, but my favorite teacher.
Favorite teacher. No, so I'm saying, so I think anybody who got exposed to her.
Detention, and I don't think we deserve it. But it's still my favorite teacher.
Oh wait, you guys are in the same
All
class.
of us, majority of us got a detention that day for not doing some work that we never knew we had, and it was a thing. Love her, love her, love her.
So I was there when she
Oh
died,
God.
and
No,
her daughter
again.
was there too. Yeah, Jalisa. So she didn't actually
Right.
teach me, but me and
Right.
Jalisa
So
were
you would have known the
friends.
situation.
So I knew her as
Right.
Jalisa's
Right.
mommy, and she was always so
She
sweet.
was. She was.
And I knew about lupus from before because one of my
Okay.
cousins had it.
She was the first.
But Emily, when me tell you, Sam, when we went to her funeral,
I was there too.
because you remember she was a teacher at Andrews for a long time. And then, she was involved in other
Mm-hmm.
things. Her husband was an Olympian. So she knew a lot of people, and a lot of people knew her. And her funeral was
Yeah.
very sad when me tell you, say, big man and little picnic
Yep.
ball at the
Yep.
same
Yep. She was
time.
amazing.
It was very emotional experience. And then what we did as Andrew's girls who were there, we lined up as
Guard of
what
honor.
you call that, the
Mm-hmm.
guard king, the guard of honor. Let me tell you, say, all of we stand up on a ball. You have to hold your hand. Because I could
Yeah.
barely
It
stand
was
up.
very sad. I think I remember.
And I mean, like, we stand up there and it was very emotional. And to know that she died and she had two
Yeah.
young girls because Jalisa was in second form. And I think Justine is the name of the younger one. She was at Andrews
Mm-hmm.
Prep and they lost their mommy. And it was just hard
Yeah.
all around. And not a lot of people understood what
Right.
lupus was.
Right.
A lot of us at the time just knew that Miss Stokes
Yeah.
died from it.
Yeah. I had a friend who was
All right.
more knowledgeable, and she kind of explained what was happening. And it's so wicked because it's like your own body is attacking you. Like, in what world does that make sense? So it's something that is hard for people to wrap their mind around, and I think that's also why awareness is so difficult these days because you can't pinpoint. You know what's happening, but it's like, oh, but why though? Why? Why would your immune system just decide? Guess what? I'm confused. I'm
To
just gonna
start
attack
attacking
everybody because
itself.
somebody has to die, and so the good suffer for the bad. Like, but it is what it is, and we try to continue learning about it and just doing the best that we can with the information that we have. That's all we can do.
Yeah. All right. So second question is, have you ever been discriminated against because of your lupus?
I wouldn't say I've been discriminated against, and not in any, sort of way that stops me from doing what I need to do. In terms of like work, I teach, I schedule my own time. I work with my mother, so she's definitely not going to discriminate against me. We both run a music school. Um, I work with a church, they are very loving and open. And anywhere that I've worked, I used to work with Genesis Academy as well, and I work with the Step Center now. They've understood what's happening with me. And so anytime, which is very rare, that I needed to just take a break or I couldn't manage something, they were 100% behind me to just get the rest I needed. So in that way, I've never been discriminated against, but there have been misconceptions and assumptions that are made. And then, Jamaicans, sometimes we don't really think about how we say things. And so it comes across,
We say what we feel when we feel it, and
yeah,
we
it comes
don't
across
care.
in a very heartless way. I try to just approach it with, okay, you're just ignorant about this, and you don't recognize that there's a better way to express yourself. But it's nothing that's stopping me from getting anything. So somebody, asking me so I had a massage, I went to get a massage, and she saw that my face had marks because it was very much like this, and that can be perceived as something else. And she asked me if my condition is contagious. And no, not everybody would know that lupus is not contagious. So I don't take it as offense, although it's kind of like I wouldn't be doing a massage if I had a contagious condition.
Yeah,
But maybe
right.
some people would. So, I'll give her that. But I just had to explain, no, it's lupus that I have. It just affects my skin. It's not contagious. Moving on. Let me get my birthday massage, please, and thanks. Others have hurled comments, but it's mainly from like people on the street. So I've been told that a monkey bleeped me, and that is why my face looks like this.
Oh my
Just
goodness.
because I wouldn't give a man money. I've been looked at funny by people who have no shoes, and they're just like, Lord, is how your face looks so. I'm sorry for you, and I'm like, really, really though. This is what
You
this is the
have on no
conversation we're
shoes.
having.
So it means say you don't live anywhere. And you
Exactly.
tell me
But
say you're sorry
looks
for
are
me.
everything. So woe is me. Woe is me. So
Yeah.
those are the
Yeah.
only
Yeah.
things, it's just the comments. But I think a lot of times, because it's obvious that there is something wrong, I would more get pity if I get a reaction that I don't really like. It's more pity than discrimination. I don't like the pity either. And I don't like when I've already stated that I'm fine, or I look fine and I'm smiling and I'm happy, and you look at me like, oh, you poor thing. And I'm just like, can we move on, please? I know what I look like. Let's move on. But people are just people, it
No,
depends on what your priorities
no,
are.
man. I love Jamaican people. Jamaican people make you really say to yourself, say, God, no, we special body, no. Like, what me tell you, say, we special
Yeah.
bad. I think the biggest thing is that we experience misconceptions because I love when I tell somebody I have lupus and they're like, but isn't that cancer of the sun? No, that is leukemia. It's two different words.
Mm-hmm.
And then you try to explain it to them, and they're looking at you like, huh? Like, I love when people who didn't know me before, they'd say, Sammy, yeah, how much months are? Where is the baby? No, Emily,
Yes,
you
and we
know
know
me.
you.
My answers are beautiful. My answers
Fabric
are beautiful. I
bleeding.
love when fat people tell me, Sammy, I get fat. I love when fat people too tell
Oh,
me,
I
Sammy,
got
I
that.
get fat. So my answers
I
are,
used to get that. And I've never, my weight has fluctuated. And I remember one time at a place I was working, someone said, let me go for seconds so I can get fat like Auntie Emily. And I was like, but you're bigger than me. And I thought the reason that I looked so much bigger to her was that I was ill when she met me. So I was like, I was
oh,
affected
so
by
you
her.
were
And now I
skinny
was
because you were
getting, I was
extreme.
getting back, the weight and feeling better. And this woman comes there. But anyway, we let it just breeze past. I can't
Yeah,
bother.
yeah. Like one lady did say to me, say, you put on so much weight, you get so fat. I say, but you fat long time, lady. You fat long time. What's your excuse? Me have lupus. What's yours? Yeah. Thanks. Do. So, so like I love when people do that. And I mean, Jamaican people do that all the
Yeah.
time, Like, oh, you look so, and then I go through the
Yeah.
same thing.
And the thing is that you don't
And it's like, I stop on my
you
ask
don't know
myself,
why someone has gained
Hey,
or lost
Ron,
weight.
thank you. The Ron says, hey, ladies, continue to be the lovely women I know you are. Oh my God, Ron, I'm blushing.
No, but you don't.
Oh, Ron says that I'm so mean to fat people. Ron, I have never been mean to you because you've never been mean to me. Never. We're fat in harmony, Ron. You and I. You're big sexy to me. Remember? Big sexy. Anyways, yes, Emily. Ron has distracted
That's
me.
fine.
Continue.
And I was just saying that we need to, like, you never ever know why someone has gained or even lost weight, because I would get the comments when I lost weight and I was like, boy, you can't please people. Because when I just got diagnosed, I mean, my mother was like researcher. She never know internet before, and now all of a sudden she's like master of the internet. I look up whole heap of diet and natural this and natural that, because she's like, no way her daughter is living with this thing, and she not listening to no doctor saying that I'm going to be on medication for the rest of my life, blah blah blah. So she just head on. I mean, to this day she's still doing it, but he just like I went on a diet immediately, that was all raw. There was a detox program, so you go all raw for a month. And when I say all raw, I mean like every single thing that passes your lips is raw. So it just come from tree. It just come from ground. And you wash it off and you eat it. So she made salads for me. She made vegetable fruit. Yoy, put that finger up, because that saved me. Vegetable salad, fruit salad, green juice. I had 3 different drinks every day: green juice, beetroot and carrots, and oat shake. And this was like no sugar, no milk. Milk was like made from pumpkin seeds. It was that my friends literally started calling me pumpkin seed. That is what I was called at school. Or no,
Yes, you
pumpkin
do.
seed.
You do love
No,
pumpkin
and that
curry.
don't even come from that.
I
That
feel
don't even
like
come
every
from that. I'm just like,
recipe.
I'm a wedding.
No, but I feel like every
It's
recipe
true.
you
It's
share
only
with
for
me,
pumpkin. It's only
I mean, some pumpkin in
it's true.
everything. For true,
Gotta
Emily.
get that
Yes,
beta
that is why you
carotene.
name cream of
Well,
pumpkin
that's
soup,
just
and you accepted the little
yeah,
pumpkin
yeah.
vibe.
It's a good food. I would recommend it. And it's a nice flavor. You can make all kinds of things with it. So, it's up for experimentation. But yeah, like I
Yes, guys. Last week she gave me a pumpkin
was it
thing.
good? You never
It
you
was
never
it
said
was a
anything, so I wasn't
cookie.
sure and I never want to ask.
Oh yes, I forgot. It was so
Okay.
nice. And I don't usually like them
Okay,
something
good.
there. Emily, me
Yes,
not
I
eat them
do. I
things
do.
there. Like none
I'll
at
I'll
all.
I'll hook you up. I'll hook you up. But yeah, like I went to school. I mean, I literally had a cooler that you keep beer in and have fun with. That was in my trunk. That was my lunch kit, and it had ice and all of my raw things for 1 month. Big
Big up,
her up,
mommy.
because I don't know. I would not have done it. I would have been like, you know what, Lord, you want me to take medication? I'm gonna take medication. And she was just like, no. So yes, so we did that. I did that for a month and then went into a vegan diet. And I got really skinny because I wasn't eating anything with flour, no dairy, nothing like that. And yes, big up Auntie Angie. Yes, so I got very skinny and I had 2 sides. I was a dancer at the time and I'd go to dancing and the girls were like, oh my God, how did you lose so much weight? You look amazing. Da, da, da. And I'm just thinking, it's because I have like a disease that can kill me. And that to me is not a reason.
Yeah. Well, it's
Like
like you're like, whoopee.
I just
Oh
want
my God, you want
I just want
to
to be normal. I want to be like everybody else going to KFC and eating Doritos. And I have to be doing this. Yes, it's helping me, but at the same time, I don't want that to be the reason that I'm losing weight. But they were all in sprawl, and it's like, oh my God, da, da, da. The guys on the other hand, Lord, where's your bottom? Lord, you know no more flesh. Lord, your pants don't baggy. And I'm like, seriously? You realize that you really have to think for
like you
yourself.
can't
You
please
can't be.
people.
And then when I put back on the weight, it's another thing. They want to say what they want to say. So you can't please everybody. Just do what you have to do. What you have to do, that's it. So,
No, mom, I love when people say things like your maga like tread. You say, when my fat
Yep.
is a
When you're skinny,
problem,
it's a problem.
when my maga is
So
a
just do you.
problem.
Do you.
Yeah. So just stop listening to people. People need to just chuck off.
Sure.
Somewhere,
We'll put them in
anywhere, but
the
come from in
but
front of me.
yes, they can excuse themselves.
So guys, as advocates, let me tell you, Emily keeps me in check when I'm getting too facetious. Yeah.
Happy to
So,
be of service.
and for anybody who doesn't know, facetious is the term that feisty comes
So
from.
there, yeah, Andrew's girl.
And I can, yeah, big up Andrews. Yeah, Andrews girls
Oh
forever.
yes, oh yes. And I still have Andrew's girls
Yeah,
by my side, supporting me along the way. And other girls
we're
and
very
other schools too.
supportive.
But my Andrew's girls have
Yeah,
stayed
yeah,
strong, and I love
yeah. Because before I got diagnosed with lupus, Emily can tell you I used to
oh
go
yes,
to events
Sam was a
to
number
put
one fan.
to the point that when I got this, Emily was the one who said to me, "Boy, you probably do so much that you
Maybe
end
it
up
is
getting."
contagious.
I say, "Yeah, man, the whole I wanna give me it."
Yeah.
I say, "I'm Emily, take it back. I don't want it."
Sharing is caring, darling.
Yeah, so much fun. So but guys, let us go back to it is not
It's not.
contagious.
It's
It's
okay to
not HIV.
Loopy. It's okay to love a Loopy.
Yeah, it's okay to hug
Not
us
no
as long as
COVID.
you don't have COVID. Though. Yeah, don't have COVID and
And
come
that's the
try
next
hug
thing
me.
too. We have to be
No.
away from people who are sick, even before COVID, obviously. You have a cold, you have anything
Yeah,
contagious, it can affect us terribly because once we get sick, the immune system becomes overactive and then tries to fight off, and then it's killing the healthy cells. So in teaching, that has been an interesting thing because I'll have kids coming or teach piano and cello and like early years for babies and special needs. So some of them, they're so young, them can't control no, them not understanding no cough into your elbow.
and
Oh,
I
they're
love them.
amazing. They're
I love
amazing.
them
But
for
there are
it.
times when I feel like
Yeah,
they
I love
far
them
from
for it.
me, you disease riddled child, because I will get worse sick than you. But honestly, over the years, I have hardly ever gotten sick. There will be bugs going around, and I'm not doing no extra hand washing and extra sanitizing and whatever at that time. And I have never caught anything that is going around. It is beyond me, but I'm just grateful because it meant that I was able to be stable, throughout teaching and not have to question whether I can continue to do this. Because if I didn't have teaching, if I didn't have my kids and music, yeah, that's not even, I love it.
Yeah, but I mean, I think that's part of your clean diet that you try to
It's
maintain.
probably part of that.
Makes your immune. Yeah,
Just
it's
to
a
save the
pumpkin.
pumpkin. For sure. For sure.
Yeah, and okay, so I'll have a green juice, guys. I'll do beetroot and carrot. I'll do aloe vera with
That's good,
anything.
bro.
Yeah, because aloe vera, I have adjusted to the taste to the point where I don't even
You
really
don't
taste it
taste it when you blend
anymore.
it in stuff, as long as you don't put the skin,
Yeah, you
you
don't.
just take the gel out, right?
Yeah,
So, I mean,
because the skin smell
huh?
green. Like the skin smell green like a
Yeah.
ripe
When I rub it
body
on,
odor.
especially if any of these are acting up. So when I'm flaring, or even if I have a minor flare, they get red. So I'll just rub the aloe vera all over. Now that you can smell that. But I find when I put it in, somebody had told me about aloe vera and orange juice, and they used to do that every morning. It's not something that I've kept up with consistently.
That's what cleared up
That's
my
good.
lungs.
That's good. I try to keep up with it, but I
Yeah.
just can't. The whole cutting and the it's a lot. And I don't have my mommy here.
Yeah. Okay, so when I was so I drink it
Good.
every day.
Exactly.
And when my yard, yeah, when my yard did run out up at my sister's house, there is a lot on her hillside. She live up Red Hillside. And when me tell you, say my daddy kins go up on the hill and
One, two
see it.
minutes.
Him say, Sammy, you know how much I'm thinking about that up on the hill? Me say, yeah, daddy. Him said, tomorrow I'm gonna get some. And him go up there. And when me tell you, say, Emily, the something when bring, it have two sucker on it, two sucker, and one of them big, And that man cut off every piece and plant the two sucker them in our
Nice.
yard. And him cut off every piece and put them in a Ziploc bags.
Very good.
And they're in the bottom of my
Very
fridge.
good.
In a Ziploc bag.
Good to have
Yeah.
that support.
Big up my
Yes.
daddy kids.
Don't let it go.
You know. He's my favorite guy in the world. So, okay, so final question. Now, to be an advocate like myself, to go public with any condition that you have is difficult. It's deeply personal. People, you have to understand, you have to go to a place where you're willing to accept the consequences of telling the world that you have it. Because most people like to keep them condition private because they don't want it to be used against them. Tell us, why did you decide to become an advocate for our condition?
Around the time that I started losing my hair, like a lot, I started to wear scarves because what had happened was I had hair at the front, but most of the back was gone, and then there was like a line at the bottom. So it was unsightly. I mean, prior to that, I was able to straighten it. I did like some mild relaxo, and I was able to straighten it to cover up what was in the middle. So no one actually knew that if they lifted up that panel of hair, they would just see scalp. So I was able to get away with that for a while, but after a while, the damage was so extensive. That was in 2014 that I just couldn't do that anymore. So I started wearing scarves, and I remember buying my first wig in the summer of 2014. And I actually, like, getting the wig and having it fit and everything, that was a very emotional experience for me. I mean, I had never worn one other time I'd worn false hair because of the same hair loss, but I had never really been into wigs or extensions in life in general. So that was very emotional, but it was also very empowering because I felt normal, for want of a better word. I didn't feel like I was looking in the mirror and there was this clown staring back at me. So it was very good for my self-esteem, but oh my word, when the heat hit and I was just constantly digging into my forehead just to scratch it, and I could not stand it. So if it wasn't wigs, I was wearing scarves, and it was the same thing, just irritation. And I was like, you know what? I have to cover this up anyway. I'm cutting off all my hair because at this point, what am I hanging on to? Most of it is gone, and all I have is this weird patchiness. It didn't make sense. So I cut everything off, and I said, if I don't like it, then I'll just force myself to wear the wigs and the scarves. And I shaved it off, and I was like, if anybody doesn't like it, too bad. This is for me, and I need to be comfortable, and I need to be happy. And this will help with that. And so I embraced being bald. So now it was kind of like, everybody's going to know something is wrong. Up to that point, somehow I was able to hide it. I was always able to cover up, always able to just make it seem like everything was okay. I didn't have as many marks on my face. Close friends knew, and even some acquaintances knew, but it didn't affect me working, it didn't affect a lot. So I was able to hide it. And I was like, now I'm going to get a question. It's like, where's your hair? Before it was, oh, she decided to cut off her locks, or, oh, you know, whatever. But where's your hair? So I said to myself, well, if I'm going to get the questions anyway, I need to just develop the confidence to speak about this. And maybe it could help somebody, maybe not. I started up.
Yeah, you basically
Right,
control the
exactly. Because if
dialogue.
I start it, or if I am ready to take it on, then I am willing to take anything that comes with it, which includes the misconceptions and the insensitive statements and questions. So I started a blog, and in it I had chronicled my journey with the hair loss. And I also spoke about lupus. So now a lot of people, even those that I knew well that had no idea, they were finding out that I had lupus. And then that love and encouragement that I got just from that first post, I was blown away, blown away. And especially when persons said how it helped them, or even other lupus patients seeing it and saying, I've never been able to speak about this, and you are saying what I want, you know, people to hear. And so that really reached me, and I was like, it's not like I felt ready to take on the advocacy world, but I did feel that if this was something that could help others, and I'm going to have to speak about it anyway because of how I look, then why not just use it for good? And so my blog became more educational. So I would try to, you know, things that I have done, diets, whether it concern diets, you know, stress, those sorts of things that I would talk about. It didn't last long because I find I can't keep up with things. But I did continue, like, just to have a presence on social media and just be willing to speak. And so if I post something randomly and then it starts a discussion, at least that set of persons can be more aware about the disease. Eventually now I was asked to do interviews, and, you know, so I would appear from time to time on programs, on TV, radio, and then I became involved with the local foundation, and so through that, the advocacy had also continued. So it's just been that kind of journey ever since. I'm very random with it. I'm not as consistent. You know, I always say, oh yes, Lupus Awareness Month. Every day I'm going to post something, and then life happens. So, but
You'd be that ambitious?
every month it comes around, I'm like, yes, and this is the month that I'm going to do X, Y, Z. And then, but you know, we let the younger one.
I think Julie alone must do that, you know. You know,
Yes,
Julie
yes,
actually
I know.
does
I'm
it.
following her.
Since it has been Lupus Awareness Month,
Yes.
she does it for 3 of our
Yes.
platforms. I'm gonna tell you, say, Julie, say
Trust me.
commitment.
I even got like a background thing, and I was like, yes, a quote every day or some sort of saying, or I did about it. And then, like,
I did not make that promise to myself. My only commitment is my Queens on the Rise every week, and I do that every Sunday,
well,
regardless.
I know that you're doing far more than that. So,
But anyway, no, we will not discuss what I do as it pertains to our condition. But anyways, guys, we're doing something very exciting. It's the two of us, along with Danielle Hall. She was on my vlog previously when I first spoke about lupus. So we're doing a dance with us for Lupus Awareness. So this is the last Sunday in the month. But on Saturday, it is October 31st. And we will be dancing together. But what we want you guys to do is dance to any song that
keep
you
it clean
like.
and keep it
Any
positive.
dance, clean, positive, and upbeat. And post on your pages and tag our personal pages. This is my business page, but my personal page is at Sammy Sweets. We'd really love you guys to become a part of it. It's just fun for our
And it's
condition to
also
bring
to bring
awareness.
awareness. It would be great if you were able to share uh, a tip or even what am I trying to say? A fact, a fact about lupus. Um,
Oh, I didn't even know this about this. So I know Cheryl a long time, and she says she has
Myositis.
polymyositis.
Polymyositis. Okay.
Yeah, it's similar symptoms like lupus. I didn't even know that. And I've known Cheryl pretty much all my life.
See?
Wow. I learned
Yeah.
something tonight.
Yeah. So
So I'm going to assume that it's an autoimmune like what we have. And so many people have other autoimmunes. And because it's not a lot of them, they are unable to, because I have a friend with colitis too, and that's an autoimmune. And not a lot of people know
mhm,
what it is or what it does
yeah,
to their body. I mean, to be honest, when it comes to lupus, she says she has joint
yeah.
pains.
And that's
Yeah.
one of the key things that I had wanted to
So,
bring to light with using hashtag I dance for lupus awareness is that the effects on the joints, bones, and muscles can be really debilitating. I've experienced it. A lot of others have experienced it. I mean, dancers in general experience a lot of different pains, but when
no,
lupus
but
is
I
the
think
effect,
that's what makes our condition
yeah, yeah,
debilitating. The pain and the joint pains
yeah.
and the muscle pains too, because we get, oh God, when me tell you, say my muscle contraction, they make me jump off of the bed like a madman.
Yep.
But yeah, water is important. So let's big up SIPS because they sponsor Lupus Awareness.
So
Thank you, SIPS Water. So we would love if you guys participate in our We Dance
well,
for Lupus
I
Awareness. If you wear
I
purple,
dance. Hashtag I dance for lupus awareness.
yeah,
I'm gonna
hashtag
put it
I
in the
Dance
chat.
for Lupus Awareness. Yeah, I'm going to put the hashtags that you should use in the oh my God, in
Blame
the
lupus. Blame
caption for the
lupus.
post. I couldn't remember the word
Blame lupus.
caption. No man, the caption for the post. So I dance for lupus
And a
awareness,
fact. Have a
and then I'll put the other post that you should put with it.
oh wow.
Uh-uh. Cheryl, one day I'm gonna invite you on, and you're gonna tell us about
Yeah.
that
I'm gonna have to look that one
experience.
up. I've never heard of
Um,
it before.
yeah, because I've really never been exposed to that one before. So Cheryl, one day you and I are gonna tell the world about your condition because I like people to know about what is happening because I find that many people, I mean, just like with the COVID, there are people who, because it's not directly
Right.
affecting them, they have no
Yeah.
compassion to people who it is affecting. And that's very sad because we need to remember to always be kind to one
Yeah.
another. Love each other. These are simple things that God teaches us because He makes us in His own likeness, and it is our role to love each other.
Mhm.
And guys, I love Emily.
I like
Emily's surprised by the support that she gets, and it blows my mind because she's
that.
one of the sweetest people you're ever going to meet.
Stop. I can't.
So it always blows my mind when she says things like, you know, and she's like, Sam, I think you need to just relax, take a deep breath. And she's like, all right, let's have a talk. And she's always so calm. Like I'd be so mad, and she'd be like, "All right, Sam, we're gonna just, let's think about it." And then I'm like, okay, okay, Ems. All right, hold my hand, cause me. So guys, yeah. We love our Emily. See, look how many people are
Okay.
talking about
Whatever.
you. Yeah, look, you're so inspiring. It's true.
Okay, Sam.
Emily,
Thanks, Sam.
I've never had this many people on Queens on the Rise. So it can't be me. It must be you.
It's lupus awareness, and people want to be aware.
Yeah, yeah. It's true. That's the
They need
reason,
to be aware.
Emily. We're going to keep
Okay,
saying
good.
that.
Let it spread across the world.
Yeah.
No, but I mean, I do appreciate the love and
Uh,
encouragement. I always have, and I always will. It does keep me going because I kind of hold myself accountable when it's like, but you're supposed to eat well, and not that anybody's badgering me to eat well, but I think about, if I'm telling you, Samantha, stop eating foolishness, or drink your green juice or whatever, how can I then turn around and be having donuts? So I think the encouragement is all around. So when people, they share how they feel, then it helps me to keep going. So I really do appreciate it. Love you guys.
No, because, like, guys, so Emily and I are in a support group, and all of us would be in there talking about KFC, and Emily's like, okay, guys, let's try this
I do
pumpkin
not,
thing. And the recipe is this.
especially these days. No, sir. I mean, I will share
No, not
some of the
these days.
things.
These days, we are not even talking about
No.
KFC. We're not even talking about food. But I'm just saying, when we're talking, I'd be like, all right. One time, Emily come in the group and Emily said, all right, guys, let's try a
Okay, okay, I
cleanse.
remember that one. That's it was
And she list out all of the
it
things
was the
we're
sugar-free
supposed to
thing.
do. Yes. And everybody like kind of take
You
long
can't
for
do that.
respond. I'm say honestly, guys, me gonna tell the truth, me can't do this. Mr. I'll drink water. That is how I'm gonna do
And that's fine.
this. I will drink
Baby
water.
step.
And that's what Emily said. Emily said, yes, we can take baby steps. And we never
I
spoke
never
about
brought it
it
up again.
again. So everybody would jump on and say, yeah, man, we're going to try it. Yeah, me, I was honest. I said, guys, me can't do this. I said, Timmy water
The
here with
sugar
me a
thing is
drink.
hard because you start to realize how
It's
many
hard.
things have sugar in them. When I take up the Jai crackers in at the supermarket and I look on the ingredients list and sugar there, front and center, I'm like, seriously, crackers though? Crackers? So that was a challenge. That was definitely a challenge.
No, so I knew that it was a challenge because there are members of my family who
Okay,
are
so you're always
diabetic.
on the lookout for that.
So when you're exposed to diabetes from a long time ago, you realize that every carb
Yeah,
breaks down into
yeah.
sugar. Every starch breaks down into sugar. So sugar is very hard to escape.
Very. But it's
Like,
possible.
like I think the
It's
only
possible.
thing, yeah, it's possible. I think the only thing that doesn't have sugar is meat
But
itself.
then even that has its own, you know,
Yeah, it has its own
yeah.
complexities. But I mean, in general, almost everything. I like egg. I don't think egg has
No.
sugar in it. Yeah, egg does not have a sugar in it. But then you have some fats that break down into sugar. So it's like it,
I
it
mean, your
it's
body
very
still needs
hard.
a certain amount, and if you can get it naturally, that's best. But even with fruits, like you have to watch how many you have, how much of it you have, how many servings, when you have it. that kind of thing can still affect you. As Adrian says, best to get natural sugars from fruits. And Adrian knows a lot about eating well. Big up yourself, Adrian. Really.
But you still can't overdo
Yeah,
it with the
yeah,
fruits. Like, guys, my mother told me that you're not supposed to have more than one banana for the
yeah.
day.
That was sadness for me because I'm a banana girl. Everything in moderation, I
So,
say, and listen to your body a lot because even some healthy things that are good for somebody, your body just doesn't. And especially when you have something like lupus, it's a possibility that it's connected to allergies and an allergic reaction that your body is having. And so it's really important to just listen to your body and how different things affect it. As I mentioned earlier, I used to have beetroot juice. And then after a while, when I started to get a more prominent butterfly rash, which is a blessing and a curse because honestly, when I eat something wrong, I feel it here immediately. And I know, okay, I should not have eaten that. And even if it's something good, so
so you actually
yes, it
feel
starts
it?
to sort of, it starts to get a little bit inflamed and it gets redder. Right now it's scarred because I didn't treat it properly when it got red during the major flare that I had. But after a while, I realized every time I had beets, it would show up. It would start to pulse, and I'm like, but it's beets. It's supposed to be healthy, but you can't judge it just based on it happening to be a healthy food. You know, you have to listen to your body fully. There's some people who are vegan diet just does everything, and others it doesn't. They need meat, or they need to eat for their blood type, or they need to, you know. So I don't think there's
For
one
me,
fix for this thing, but things in moderation and also knowing what's in your food. You can be eating what you think is a perfectly good vegan meal, but you don't know what oil was. You don't know where the are coming from, organic food, fertilizer. You just don't know. So the more you know what is going into your food, to me, the better. And that's it.
well, for me personally, when I get the redness, I pay attention to it immediately. And then I know that it is coming from me flaring or the exposure to the sun. And then I know that, okay, Sam, what you doing wrong? And I think about it. And then I try
Yeah,
to
as
calm myself
said, did I get
down.
angry today?
Yeah. So, guys, this was amazing. Oh, also, my prednisone makes me feel like I am about to. So I'm on 50 milligrams of steroids, guys. And if you know how steroids work, it makes you feel like you're starving, like you have never eat, like you've not eaten in days.
That's a mind thing. You have to, because I've been on high doses of prednisone and I definitely got the munchies. And you just literally have to tell yourself, you are not hungry. You do not need food. And sometimes it works, sometimes it
No, man. So, like, no. So, before, when I was on
doesn't.
80, I'd feel like an animal is not
No.
cute. Anyways, but now, like, the more I drink my juices and I try to adjust my diet, like, there are days when I don't have an appetite, when I feel more normal and stuff, like how I used to feel before. When I used to get things like, you can drink water out of
The collarbone.
your
The,
yeah, your collarbone, you can drink water. Anyways, Instagram is telling us, Emily, that our time is up. We only have 21 seconds remaining. So thank you
thanks
so
for
much,
having
Emily.
me,
Mwah.
honey.
Love you
Thank you for having
always.
me. It was nice sharing with you.
Yes, guys. Yes,
Yeah.
Adrian says friend is
Always